In this video, we're going to share what seems little spoken about in the world of selling everything to slow travel the world. And you know what? We've been genuinely shocked.
And we've been talking over the last few videos of how we made this lifestyle of retiring early and travelling the world a reality. And that prompted many questions from our viewers.
And they are, what are the benefits of slow travel? What are the pitfalls of this lifestyle? And how are we able to travel 365 days a year, every year?
Well, we've made you wait long enough, so we're going to spill the beans. Do you know what? This lifestyle isn't what we expected, so we want to tell you the truth about retiring abroad.
We're Neil and Sarah, an early retired couple that sold everything we owned to travel the world for the next 10 years.
And we share our thoughts on everything, retirement, travel and money along the way.
You've caught us in the middle of a big travel day. We've been in Turkey for 3 months. In fact, we're still in Turkey at the moment. And we are heading from here to a place we've dreamed of visiting for years. You're going to find out what that is at the end of this video, assuming we get there, because we've got over 30 hours of travel and 3 flights. The next part of this video is going to be coming from Doha Airport. We've made it to Doha. And a big thank you to Doha Airport. They seem to have set up a little studio area for it. Looks great. We look about as good as we've ever looked on video.
I don't think we look as good because we're tired.
This is a really cool zone with Apple Macs and TV areas and chill out zones and even a place for us YouTubers. Now, we're on hour 14 of this journey. I think I said earlier it's 30 hours. I was on the last flight. I was trying to add up how many hours it was.
And then you get the time zones and it's,
I'm starting to get tired.
Yeah.
So when we finish this video, we'll tell you exactly how long this has been. This is all going to be without sleep because neither Sarah and I have the ability to sleep on flights. Crazy.
Anyway, let's get back on with the video.
Yep.
So more and more people are talking about slow travel, and the phrase is becoming really popular now, isn't it?
It is.
Slow travel to us means that we can spend 4 weeks, a month in one location and then move on to the next.
Yeah, and it comes with a number of associated benefits. Well, one of the first things that we do is we look at Airbnb for accommodation. As we've gone down the turquoise coast, we stayed in a few hotels because they worked out cheaper for shorter stays. But you find with Airbnb, when you hit 28 days, that's when you trigger the big savings, sometimes up to 50%. And there are a number of little known benefits of slow travel. So what's another one, Sarah?
Yeah, like being able to get really under the skin of the location we're in. So we actually feel a bit like locals after a few weeks of being there. And we would never have been able to do that while we were on vacation in those places.
Yeah, that's right. And associated with this, it affords us a level of respect with the locals that we wouldn't have imagined, to be honest. You know, when you meet locals when you're on holiday, they kind of go into that sales mode. They're looking for a way to sell you something. But when you have a conversation with them and tell them that actually you're staying there for a good amount of time, and sometimes even an indefinite amount of time, you see their approach somewhat soften. And you then get to understand them and they get to understand you more, and you start to have proper conversations. And we've seen that more and more as we've gone across Turkey. We had the same when we were in Mexico and also in Athens, and it's a real lovely benefit of this slow travel.
The title of this video includes the clickbait, What Shocked Us. If you're watching this in the UK, US, Australia, Canada, anywhere in the West, you will know exactly how expensive it is to live there.
Yeah, and this truly is a shock. In our old world, when we go on vacation, we go to seemingly low cost of living places to go on holiday, and we'd be there for a week or two, and it would cost a fortune. And I would always think, how is it? We go to these places that seem well priced, but actually when you get there, everything's expensive. You ever heard of Señor Frogs? There's a good example. There's a few things that are going on, and the reason why everything is expensive like that, it's all down to the travel industry. They're there to make money. And what we want to do as consumers, all of us, is we want to go normally in high season. Now, everywhere in the world has got a high season, a low season, a shoulder season. We all choose to go high. And then also, different locations around the world, we tend to choose the same ones. Everyone's converging on the same place, meaning it's really expensive. You know, there's a little village, I think, on the ocean front in Italy. You see it on so many pictures and things. And there must be about 2,000 buildings there, and there must be about 100,000 people converging on it every year. No wonder the prices are expensive. Question for you. Have you heard of Kaş, Kalkan, Karali, Kusadasi?
We hadn't before we started our travels around Turkey, and we have to say those places are absolutely beautiful, and they're all really off the beaten track, so the prices were a lot keener than places like Antalya or Side, which were more touristy places. So could you vacation there? Yeah,
because we saw it and we thought we would absolutely have vacation there. And back in our old world, we wish we knew that those places existed. And so to that phrase that's really starting to gain traction, and that is GeoArbitrage. And if we can try and define that, it's basically whereby somebody earns money in a high cost of living location and spends money in a low cost of living location. So getting the arbitrage between earning and spending. At first we struggled with this because it sounds like you're taking advantage of these lower cost of living economies, but actually, the more you think about it, it's the other way round. If anything, we're disadvantaging the UK by working in the UK and earning money there, and then taking that money and spending it in lower cost of living economies.
Time for some data that may or may not surprise you.
According to the Numbeo website that crowdsources data from across the globe on cost of living, they have a list of the top 100 countries in the world by cost. In the top 20, it includes the following: the Bahamas, Switzerland, Israel, Hong Kong, and France. Then, when you look down at the bottom 20 countries on that list, you're stuck with the likes of Montenegro, Bulgaria, the Philippines, Indonesia, Mexico. So based upon those numbers, it's obvious that these countries are going to be more expensive than these countries, isn't it? But how much less are these? In a moment, for a bit of fun, pause the video and put your own estimation in. So, what percentage cheaper on average are the bottom 20 countries compared to the top 20? Excellent. Did you pause the video? Did you play along? Thank you very much. If you didn't, really have a long, hard look at yourself, because I'm putting a lot of effort in here. So, the answer is these countries are 57% cheaper to live in than these countries here. Now, I'm not telling you that GeoArbitrage is right for everybody. In fact, I don't think it's right for many people. But Sarah and I found those numbers extremely compelling. Right, we're stuck here at Qatar Airport for 12 long hours. But you know, it's not our fault, because when we booked this, we booked a really nice itinerary, to be honest. But you know, the way of the world these days, flights get cancelled and thrown together.
I think it was actually cancelled twice.
Yeah, so
we're lucky.
It's not our fault. And it's a challenging day for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really tired. It's like you are. It's about 10 p.m. here now, so I think we should go and find somewhere quiet and try and get a little sleepies. I think
Sarah should find somewhere to get a little sleepy. Me, I've got a video edit to do. And you, although we've got another 20 odd hours to travel, none of that is your problem, because the next time you see us will be in our new location, and that is Bangkok.
Yes, we're here. It's taken us 36 hours. I think Neil said 32 hours earlier. So it's 36 hours since we got out of bed in Antalya, Turkey. But we're here. Good flight over. Guy in front of Neil had a few anger issues and at one point threw his seat back so aggressively it whopped Neil on the head and he's got a little red mark, bless him.
I'm all right. Let's not worry about that. So what else to tell you? The good thing on that flight was, unfortunately, Doha's pretty dry at the moment because of Ramadan, but on the flight, they were throwing the drinks down us. Sarah had drinks, white wine, I think, queued up, ready for
doubles every time.
What we were talking about at the start of this video was about some of the small benefits of travelling the world. But you know, there are big benefits as well. And these, when you think about it and you weigh them all up together, they really do achieve a lot. First of those big benefits was being able to sell our house so that we could be perpetual travellers for the rest of our lives, effectively.
Well, at least for 10 years, that's what we planned.
That's what we planned, yeah. No, she's absolutely right. Not only that, but now we're travelling in low cost of living locations, the costs are, by definition, a lot lower. That meant that we didn't need as much money to retire as we would have done if we stayed in the UK and did the whole UK retirement thing. So if you think about it, it's a double whammy because we've sold our house earlier to retire earlier, meaning travelling the world, we're doing it at the fittest we're ever going to be from now onwards. So doing this in our early 50s means that we're able to mix it with the youngsters. We were with youngsters coming here throwing cases around. I'm throwing cases around, nothing's stopping me, you know what I mean?
But that doesn't mean it doesn't come with some pitfalls, does it?
We're going to list those out now, and it is important you know these, because if you're going to make that step off a cliff effectively into selling everything to travel the world, you probably want to make sure you've got these things covered before you do it.
And actually, we don't have all the answers when it comes to managing these pitfalls, but we're learning as we go along. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so first of all, Google Translate can take you just so far. So we've just come from Turkey. And if you've seen the more recent videos, my hair has been getting into a bit of a mop. Sarah's looked lovely, but I was...
Well, mine was well overdue a haircut.
I was just being lazy, not getting it cut. So we needed a haircut. We're in Turkey. Where better to do it? We both went out for a haircut, and you can tell them I want it cut short, but that's probably about as far as you can go with Google Translate. Neither of the people that cut your hair,
literally,
the person who cut your hair and the guy who cut my hair,
not a word
don't
English.
really speak English at all. Nope. So it was, you know, just
have to trust.
just hoping for the best. Unfortunately, came out
all right.
Came out right.
Yeah,
did all right. Sarah's not bad either.
Next is having to learn new phrases and language as we go around the world.
It's just time.
Just got into Thailand and I'd written down all the words that I thought we'd need straight away and forgotten already, so haven't been able to speak a word.
So we don't know how to say thank you in Thai, and everyone's helping us, and we're just going...
Thank you. We'll get there though, I've got it written down.
Next is when it comes to banking, because all of these big global banks, they're not really global banks. I know, I used to work for one of the biggest, and although they got a global presence, each bank in each country seems to be a unique instance of that, and this can cause real issues. Now in the UK we've got a challenger bank called Revolut. Revolut is really forward thinking, amazing apps, amazing security, the way they do stuff, absolutely fantastic. We left the UK in December, and we ensured before we left that both our Revolut cards have got plenty of validity left on them. I think they took us to the end of 2024. Yeah. All good. Loaded the cards up. Good thing about Revolut, by the way, is it's a travel card, and in the app you can actually have different wallets for just about every currency of the world, and we were loading money into different wallets and having a lot of fun with that. We then got to Turkey and had an email from Revolut saying, hey guys, great news, new features coming on Revolut, and that means you need a new card. So I contacted them and said, I don't actually want a new card because we're in Turkey at the moment, we're not in the UK, and it is a travel card after all. And they seemed to want to help us to an extent until they said, we can send the card to Turkey, what's your home address? No, we haven't got a home address. We're staying in a hotel. Oh, we can't send it to a hotel because it's got to be okay, can we use these cards that say 2024? No. Well done, Revolut. Appreciate that. So we put a load of effort in. We don't know when we're going to be back in the UK. Revolut's going to be useless to us. What can you do?
Then there's Wi-Fi. It is so important for us to get good quality Wi-Fi. It's like getting good quality air. So as perpetual travellers, we're obviously YouTubers as well. We need good quality Wi-Fi. And around our travels in Turkey, it's been really hit and miss. So hopefully now we're in Thailand, I think we're hoping for some great Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's more miss than a hit, to be honest. But when you're travelling, you need the Wi-Fi so that you can pull up documents and all that stuff. Like we were at Thailand airport a few minutes ago, Bangkok airport, and there's various things we need. Wi-Fi's great here. If the Wi-Fi was bad, we would have been struggling a little bit, to be honest. The next is when it comes to mobile phones. And this is a real issue. And I thought actually for our friends in the US, I always was quite jealous of you because I thought you had this one stitched up. Because you've got in the US something called Google Fi. Google Fi is almost like a virtual SIM and you can take it all around the world. And we've heard really good things about it. What we've heard recently though is that Google Fi for perpetual travellers, they're switching them off. And there's the ability to make phone calls, and you could say, well, get a local SIM, you can do that, but it's about having things for two-factor authentication. And also for us, we both got aging parents and they want to know that they've got a UK phone number they can ring day and night and get us. And that was a real challenge. Now for the UK, you may have seen me speak about this before, but we use a service from a company called Device. If you look in the description below, there is a discount code there. We get nothing from that, by the way, but Device is fantastic and has been an absolute lifesaver. So if you're a perpetual traveller, or even if you're moving abroad and you need to maintain a UK phone number for two-factor authentication, or just having that constant contact with friends and family back home, Device, I'm pretty confident when I say, is the only service for UK people that works. It also gives you free calls to Canada and the US as well. So, and
it's so simple to use, isn't it?
And uses a tiny bit of data. So if you're on Wi-Fi, it'll work in here for us. If we're out and about with a local SIM, Device is using a tiny bit of data and we can chat to your mum and my dad. God love them.
And the biggest thing is not being able to see friends and family when you want to. It's really difficult on the road to keep in touch with people. We're trying to do video calls and phone calls as much as we can, and obviously we'd love people to come out and see us on their travels, come out and see us.
But COVID's just not letting that happen for us. So friends, family, or even enemies, get in contact and maybe we can see you somewhere in the world. Another pitfall, and the thing you've got to get your head around, is the fact that you're selling your house. You've got nowhere for your stuff. And that can be a massive wrench. We've made a video about that, so we think you should watch this video next. We have been traveling 36 hours, we haven't eaten, we've been told there's dinner downstairs, we're going to unpack, we're going to head downstairs. You've been watching To Go Rome, we'll see you next time. Bye.